see. There we go. Okay, so we should see a few people trickle in.
Oh, I didn't know this account had Abhishek Abwas Bhaskar on it. Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, we have some people coming in. All right, we can just give it 1 or 2 minutes and then we can
Sure.
kick it off. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Hi, Pink. Good to see you. See. Hello, hello. Feel free to drop in the chat where you're watching the workshop from. Would love to see where you're from. Do we have a shy bunch today?
I think
Okay.
that will have to be made mandatory today. All of us have to speak up
Yeah.
as much as possible. Being shy is so 2020, so we are in 2021. But yeah.
All right, so we have Karina, our OG from Romania. We have Victor from Nigeria, Pink from Turkey, and that it's really hot. Oh man, I can't imagine. Oh, we have Sewell from Istanbul. Nice. William, I recognize. He's a regional leader from Team Sweden.
Nice.
All right. Okay, perfect. Oh my goodness, 38. I would be dying. Honors here, Team Turkey representing. Woohoo! All right. Okay, so I guess we can start. We have some people trickling in and out. We'll
Okay.
probably have some people who are like registering too. But
Okay.
yeah, I can kick it off. So welcome everybody. This is our sixth Alchemist workshop and excited to continue to have these going. We're going to definitely have many more. My name is Jackie. I am the head of token marketing at Covalent. You guys have probably seen me all over the place on Discord, Telegram, just everywhere. But yeah, super excited to have Abby here, which is going to be talking about some fun topics that have been very popular when it comes to like NFTs, metaverses, and then breaking a lot of like misinformation and educating us on the topic since he has a lot of knowledge in that front. He's also a professional beatboxer, which is amazing. We've seen him give us samples, which I have no idea how you're able to do that. So hopefully one day we can expect a workshop from you when it comes to
Absolutely. Absolutely.
beatboxing. We also have Aryan, who is one of our deans, but he's unable to speak right now. But yes, I can, I guess, vouch for him that he says hello to everybody. But at the end of the workshop, for all those who attended, you will be receiving a POAP. So please reach out to me on Discord. I can send you the code for the specific workshop, but please ask towards the end of the workshop and not during. We're just going to wait towards the end. And if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A section, which is located at the bottom, or you can even type in your question in the chat, and then Abby would be more than happy to answer any of them. But off, I won't take any more time. Off to Abby, and then I'll just turn my camera off.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackie. I know it's a pleasure doing this. Firstly, I would like to thank Covalent for setting up this entire thing and making it happen, and especially promoting NFT and art in general. I think right now it is extremely important that more companies take this step in doing this. It is vital for us, and again, since the pandemic, right, the art industry is such a public space that we are the first ones to exit, and we'll be the last ones to get back in, to some resemblance of normalcy. So I think it's extremely important that companies promote artists, especially, and get the content out, which is hidden inside them as much as possible. Because again, everyone is, as artists, you always crave to showcase what you have, right? So it's, thank you for this platform and making this happen. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be doing this, and I love doing this. Okay, so everyone, I hope y'all can see me. I hope y'all can hear me. Otherwise, it would be really awkward me just waving my hands. So yeah, my name is Abhishek. Abhishek Bhaskar. Bhaskar is my dad, and I go by the name Abverse in the crypto and blockchain space. That's my alter ego. What Appverse means to me is it's I'm building my own metaverse, so to speak, for the future, right? And I've been doing this way before the concept of like the concept of metaverses began, because I've always been interested in building digital assets for the future. And even in my, say, architectural thesis, I was always interested in building my own city. So this was my long-term vision, but that got uh, bigger, and it's my own universe. So I've moved from city, upscaled it to an universe. And also throughout this process, if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me, just like a popcorn style session. You can just pop it into the Q&A or chat box. I can go through it. And just to give an introduction, very short introduction about myself. I've been beatboxing since I was 16 years old. I'm 26 right now, which means I've been in the industry since for the past 10 to 11 years right now, if my maths is right. Yes. So, I've performed at just over 900 plus shows across India. And yeah, mostly it's these concerts, festivals, music festivals, and corporate events, and these things like that. So I've been fortunate enough to do something which I love doing. I always I'm not talking about specifically about beatboxing, but genuinely I love being creative. That is why I'm also an architect, right? So I've also been the ex brand ambassador for Adidas and JBL. These are the two companies I've represented to bring up the hip hop culture in India. And yeah, a couple of other things, but also I've worked with United Nations to promote international peace between 12 countries. That is something which, for me, that's really important, especially at a time like this. And it was called the Peace Screen Project. And yeah, I've also conducted two of India's biggest beatboxing workshops, which is something I'm also excited about doing sometime down the lane with Covalent, hopefully sometime soon. So that was with some of India's biggest celebrities like Virat Kohli, who's a cricketer, Ranveer Singh, who's one of Bollywood's biggest actors, as well as Chris Gale, who's another cricketer as well. So we're all associated with Adidas Originals. And yeah, it's been a pleasure performing for people, because my crux, what makes me going, is if I can put a smile on people's face at the end of the day, that's very important. So yeah, I saw your video with Ranveer Singh. Yes, so you know how energetic he is. So right. So for those of you who are new to beatboxing, it is the easiest way I could do it is by showing you what it is. It's so all those sounds came out of my mouth, right? So that in its essence, producing sounds of musical instruments through your mouth, is called beatboxing. And it started off in American neighborhoods back in I think 1980s. Some of the godfathers are Razel and other people. Michael Jackson was a beatboxer, by the way. So he used to beatbox and learn his beats, and then get back into the production house and make those beats. So like something like or his Billie Jean beat. Yeah, so it goes like that. So different things like that. So with beatboxing, it has allowed me to share my voice in my own way, right? If you actually think about the voice, it is truly non-fungible in nature. I'll tell you the entire session why we're here is to understand NFTs. So it's truly non-fungible because, for example, Jackie's voice is different, right? My voice is different. Aryan's voice is different. Pink Panther's voice is different, right? So everyone's voice is unique in their own way, and that's what makes it non-fungible, so to speak, right? And that is extremely important, and that's what I've based my NFTs on as well. And yeah, so it's very exciting. Yeah, Jackie, I will now that you mention it, I will be getting you to beatbox at the end of this session. So that is one thing which we all would love to see. So yeah, so that in its essence is beatboxing. I'm also a national award winning architect here in India. I've received awards for some smart cities work happening in India. And also last year I was fortunate enough to receive Edupreneur of the Year for my work in terms of showcasing, in terms of workshops, education, in terms of design based education, as well as the Future Tech of the Year, which is an award given for architects who are working on, technically architect was just one award. So I'm working on purely futuristic stuff, right? So like the metaverse and things like that. So we'll be diving deep into that. So yeah, that is a brief about what I'm trying to do. Yes, absolutely. I will be getting Jackie on board at the end of this. So I'll be teaching everyone how to beatbox, but Jackie will get the special platform to perform for us today. Yeah. So okay. So that in it is a brief of what I am, what I do. Let me just read the comments. That's awesome. Let's jam beatboxing one day. Sure, pal. What's up? I definitely we have to. Yeah, awesome, cool. Now, I want to showcase some of the work I've done. So for the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to be having a presentation. In the meantime, we'll also have some exercises along the way, just to keep your mind rolling. And what I want you guys to take away from this workshop is NFTs is one, what are metaverses and how you can be a part of the metaverse. In a way, so to speak, what is happening right now, the interaction is part of the metaverse as well, right? This particular video could be blockchain into perpetuity, and this could be made into an NFT as well, right? And for everyone to see, probably all the alchemists in the future. So different things like that. Anything could be part of the metaverse. So I'll get into that. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please let me know. If anyone could translate it, I understand everyone here is all across the globe, so I will try my best to help out as much as possible. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Yeah, I think regarding poems. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me just share my screen and we can get started with the workshop. Before that, I would just like to, before that, does anyone actually want to speak up, or do we have that ability? Jackie, if you can,
No,
if anyone wants to
just
share anything or something like that. Okay, just
click on
purely
the,
through Q&A, is it?
yes, correct.
Okay, perfect, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which
we can get started.
in the future we can definitely do like Discord. We could do the Discord kind of like Clubhouse style.
Okay,
Do another one.
absolutely, sounds good, sure. So I'll just share my screen and we can get started. Okay, so you can see this screen, right? Okay, so this what you're seeing on the screen right now is the NFT which I got recognized for a lot, like a lot, and this became part of my identity, so to speak. So my NFT is called the Meta Voice project, which I've been working on since 2016. Just let me know if you can see the screen. I hope you can see the um, entire thing, right? Let me just go back to Zoom. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is called the Meta Voice project. This is in fact Meta Voice 01, which is the first generation of Meta Voice. And this kind of it went a lot of people spoke about it. I don't like using the term viral, especially in the situation we are in. So yeah, a lot of people were speaking about this. They're still speaking about this. We just sold out of this NFT, so I'm really excited. And what Meta Voice is, it's a bridge between hearing beatboxing and seeing beatboxing, right? So I strongly believe that there are three evolutions of the human voice which have taken place, and the third evolution is happening right now. So the first evolution was we humans learned how to speak, like converse with each other. The second one was where we learned how to sing. And the third evolution, which is happening right now, is vocal percussions, which is beatboxing. So we humans learned how to beatbox, right? So I want to teach you guys something along the way as well. So I want people to see beatboxing. I don't want just people to see my lips moving. I want people to actually see the technical details of beatboxing. So I will share the link across in the chat, but that is not relevant here. So I will do it sometime later, where you can go have a look at it. And yeah, that is what it is. And we are going to be focusing on NFTs mainly and metaverses, right? More strictly on NFT, so that even if one artist can take away something from this and start their own NFT journey, my job is done. I love that process. Yeah. Okay, so let's go for the next one. Before I teach you, I would like you guys to know what I've done. So again, I've covered most of these things, and yeah, I've also been a WazirX Spotlight musician. The WazirX is an NFT marketplace as well as a crypto exchange as well. So from a pool of, I think, couple of thousand, or like the total pool of are still 15,000 plus artists, but I think for musician they selected a handful of people, and I was one of their spotlight musicians. I also launched my MetaVoice 01, which, yes, it is sold out, and for an artist that means a lot. So I'm also the first Indian beatboxer to launch an NFT. And what MetaVoice is, it's the world's first beatboxing generated digital art. There's never been anything like it in the past, and this has anchored itself as the first piece to ever be shown to the public in this manner. Okay, and yeah, that's how I look like. Probably I put on a couple of kilos by now, but yeah. So this is MetaVoice 01. It's I called it the water box because it had influences of water droplets and sounds like that. So it has sounds like, so all these different things. And that was my genesis piece on this marketplace called Colormint, which is on the Tezos blockchain. You don't have to understand that sentence, that's completely fine. If you're new to the space, I'll teach you what it is. And I minted 5 editions, which means I made 5 copies. For example, if you have Pokemon cards, right, there are millions of pieces and it's still rare. So this one I just made only 5 pieces of it, and 5 pieces have been sold out as well. This one is what is on WazirX right now. This is the dub version of, this is the second generation of MetaVoice, and this one is even more rarer than that. This is only a one of one. So this is on the Binance Smart Chain. You don't have to understand what these different blockchains are. I will take you through it. Okay, what kind of put NFTs, like the genesis, beginning process of it was this particular piece called Quantum by this person called Kevin McCoy, and that sold for $1.4 million in 2014. And you're able to see this GIF, right? Just let me know in the chat. Yes, can you play the NFT for us, Seg? I would love to. I will. But in the meantime, if you'd also like to check out my pinned tweet in my Twitter at IamAppverse, you can see the MetaVoice in action. Yeah. Yes, we can see the GIF. Okay, perfect. So this GIF basically sold for $1.4 million, right? Again, it's the artist's interpretation of the octagon, and yeah, that this was like the first asset which got documented as part of the NFT journey. So what NFTs are, obviously they are non-fungible tokens, but what it is it can be any digital asset, but again it can be physical assets. I want to showcase that as well, but primarily it can be a digital asset which is imprinted and timestamped onto the blockchain by this process called minting. What you're doing is, don't let's not overcomplicate this. Minting is basically like you're uploading a photo onto Facebook, and no matter what you do, even if you delete it, it can't be changed. There's a record of it, right? So that is non-fungible in nature. But when I say it can, obviously it can be deleted, but we know that data is not private anymore. So I'm making an analogy of that thing. So what it does is you can upload it and you can mint it, like how different countries mint currencies, right? So for example, the US treasury can mint probably $1 or $5 trillion, and inject it into the economy to boost it up, right? So it's like that. They're basically minting or creating that much of money. So here, even minting right now is just creating your artwork is already ready, but you're putting it onto the blockchain, so there's a record of it, that this many pieces have been minted, or this piece has been minted. So essentially that is done, and that is secured through this process called a smart contract. That's the beauty of this. So a smart contract is, again, it's a complex term, it sounds like a complex term, but it's just an agreement saying that I, Abhishek Bhaskar, made this particular NFT at this particular point. I made these many copies of it at this particular price. That's it, right? And since that is on the blockchain, it will always stay there. So once I mint it, I can't change it. I can't be like, okay, my name is say Jackie, and I made this NFT art. So I can't do that. So that is the beauty of it. Once a person mints it, it's imprinted, it's timestamped onto the blockchain in perpetuity. There is no way to change it except for just burning the piece, which means it will totally become non-existent. Yeah, so that is the beauty of smart contracts. That shows that it's truly non-fungible, non-interchangeable. For example, Ethereum you can swap to Tether, or different currencies. So that is the fungible standard. I'll get into standards as well. So here, this particular standard of 721, so ERC 721, is non-fungible. It can't be interchanged. When you're sending Ethereum, you'll only get Ethereum. You can't swap it for anything else. That is what non-fungible means. But ERC20 tokens, they are fungible, which means you can swap an ERC20 token, for example, say CQT, right? You can swap it for and with Ethereum. It's like that, right? So that essentially is what NFTs are. It helps you build ownership, and a prime example of this would be, say you have the Mona Lisa's work, right? In the physical space we had this, and everyone, I can forward you a picture of say the Mona Lisa, but that does not mean that you own it or I own it, right? We are not the owners of it. There is only one person who owns the Mona Lisa, and that is where the true value lies. It's not, the value does not lie in me or you interacting with each other, sharing it on WhatsApp or Instagram or any of these other places, right? So again, that is a physically non-fungible object, like it's a physical asset, right? So non-fungible assets have always been there. Another example would be vinyls, the vinyl record players, which we used to have back in the day, and I'm so glad it's coming back in trend. So even that, you could just make a finite amount of it, right? You couldn't make, so when they sold it like, there's only going to be 10,000 pieces or a million records of this, and people who had that got the value from that. So that is a beautiful thing. And in the digital space, the question then becomes, right, because I had this question posed to me, if I can just take your work and share it to my family WhatsApp group as a forward, right? What is the point of the NFT? So the point becomes, anyone can do that, just like how we're sharing the physical pieces picture on different platforms. Anyone can do that here, but the value comes in owning that piece of art, because ultimately only that person can do something about it at the end of the day, right? So that is a beautiful process, especially for digital artists, because it brings that sense of ownership for the artwork which they are creating, and that is extremely special. Till non-fungible people were just uploading their work to show it to the world, but finally artists are getting the respect that they deserve, and that is brilliant. And I'm really happy for that, because again, artists are extremely affected by what we're going through right now, and this is more of like a silver lining for artists, and it's very special what is happening. Anyways, so this in its essence is what an NFT is. Okay, let's go to the next one. So just to get you into what pumped this entire trend, which is now, it's going to be there long term in terms of NFTs, was these Lava Labs NFTs. They made these pixel artworks of different faces of people, and these were called crypto punks. So each of these pieces, just, and these are old pictures, by the way. These were what it initially sold for. This is nowhere close to what it's selling for today. The recent piece, I think, got sold for $2.1 million, if I'm not wrong. So these are just pennies compared to the actual big fish. So these got sold for 8.1 Ethereum and 9.24 and things like that, which is around, like, yeah, $17,000, $14,000. So yeah, these were these simple pieces which could be uploaded onto the blockchain and people could purchase it, and it's rightfully theirs. And again, you could flip it for a quick buck, or you can keep it. And what is happening right now is it's very hard to find something which is even in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's how valuable they are. So I would love for you guys to go check out Larva Labs and the work they are doing. They're also coming up with, I think, a new project sometime soon. So I'm not, I don't want to shill their work on this workshop, but yeah, they're doing some, again, they've done, their contribution has been amazing, and it's pretty cool what they're doing. And our main man, people, right? So this kind of what put NFTs into the huge limelight of what it is today. So this particular piece of these everydays, it's called the everydays, which got sold for I think around $69 million, and it was purchased by this anonymous buyer, but it's not anonymous now. It was Metacoven and Tubidor who purchased this piece of art for $69 million, and this was one of the most costliest NFTs ever bought. And this just put NFTs on the map. So what this is it's a collage of every single piece of artwork of people. Go check his artwork out. I'm sure most of you have already seen his work, and it's just an amazing thing to see how digital art can be. So there's so much of potential in digital art. Okay, so before we you know understand what NFTs can do, like, I want to show you how NFTs are usually done. You don't need to understand this to launch an NFT, but it is important that you understand as much as possible so that you can control every single piece of it, right? So these run on smart contracts essentially, and it's nothing but, as I said, right, it's an agreement between you and the blockchain saying that you're giving all the details, that this is the time at which I created this is the details of this particular piece, and these are all the things that are associated with this particular contract. So smart contracts are used, for example, if you want to open a new project, right? Say you want to make only 10 million coins compared to Bitcoin's 21 million, right? You can mention that in the contract, and it's forever there, right? It's in the contract saying that only 10 million pieces will ever be minted, and that will be distributed to people or sold in ICOs, IDOs, whatever it is. So yeah, that is essentially what a smart contract is. And again, it was Ethereum bought this into what it is today. And yeah, I'll also go check out how Ethereum was built. It's an exciting thing. And also, the because of smart contracts, that is mainly why NFTs exist, and how it is easily being made possible because of smart contracts, right? So ERC20 is where these are the fungible ones, which means it can be interchanged. So if I get some ERC20 token, say as an airdrop, right, I can swap it to Ethereum at some point, or things like that. So if I have CQT tokens, right, I can interchange it with it. So all these are ERC20 standard. So standards are basically a bunch of rules which you need to follow in order to create a particular smart contract. Okay, so any doubts in this? I just want to take 1 minute if you have any doubts till now, so that when we move ahead we can go all on the same page. Just drop a comment if you have any doubts. Okay, I think we can go ahead. In the meantime, if anyone has a comment, I will address it as and when we go. Okay, so this is our it's an important slide which I would like us to focus on. So the ERC 721 standard, right? So this was the kind of like the Genesis standard, which was created for, like, different kind of projects to be built on. Again, non-fungible, yes. uh, and ERC 721 was mainly for one single edition. Like, if you just want to have a single interaction, it was mainly for that. And yeah, Ethereum created this. And for example, if you see, again, this is for those of you who know different NFT platforms. Say in Foundation, right, you can only make a one of one edition, like just one piece, right? So those are usually in the ERC 721 standard, from my understanding. And if you want to make multiple editions, for example, there is this platform called Hikit Nunk, which means here and now, is from what I've been told. And it's HICETNUNC.xyz. You can go check it out. So you can mint 10,000 pieces of one particular artwork there. And that it's basically one single contract having all these different pieces. It's like, you're making 10,000 coins of a particular project, say Abhishek coin, right? And I only make 10,000 coins of it, and I can, sell that, each of those coins, for say $1, and I get $10,000 at the end of it, right? So that these are the different standards or rules which you need to follow, depending on what type of artwork you need to create, right? If you just want to if you just want one person to have it, the ERC 721 is usually what is taken forward. Or if you want to make 10,000 pieces, so that everyone, it's like more of an affordable art. So I can either make one piece of $10,000, or I can make 10,000 pieces of $1 each, right? So that's the beauty of it. You can play around. And I also want to stress this point. This is not part of the slide, but especially for artists right now, it is extremely important, from a musician standpoint and an artist standpoint as well, right? So usually in the music industry, there are such complex contracts, right, saying that, okay, there are so many middlemen that the contracts get really complex. The production manager, the studio gets this much, and all these things. As artists, we don't want to bother with that, right? We just want to understand how we can make great artwork, and how we are compensated for it. That's all we need to bother about, right? And that is why many artists have managers and all that, so that they take care of all the those particular stuff. But again, what happens, for example, if you know what happened with Kanye West and things like that, the contract was so complex, and it was purposely complex so that artists usually don't go through it, and at some point down the line, it can be taken advantage of. Something similar to, I think, what happened to Kesha or Pink, but yeah, one of the artists, right? And all these complex contracts are meant to take advantage of you at some point. I'm not saying every contract, but some of the contracts. So what the NFT space does, it simplifies the contract. It directly links me to you, right? If I'm an artist and you're a collector, we have a direct connection here. I know who exactly bought my piece of art, and that is extremely valuable to me. I don't need to go through my manager and managers, different people, to understand who I'm trying to connect with. So that becomes extremely useful. And yes, so yeah, that becomes extremely useful, right, in terms of building a strong connect with the people. And NFTs are all about community. No matter what you say, it is, at the end of the day, it's all about building a community. And yeah, if anyone is exploring DAOs, essentially what you're doing in the long run is you're building your own DAO at some point, right? So yeah, it's a very exciting field, and especially for artists, we have food on our table in perpetuity, right? For example, say Jackie buys my piece for $1,000, and I set a royalty in the smart contract for, say, 10% of it becomes mine. So when Jackie buys it for $1,000 from me, I get $1,000, right? And then Jackie decides to sell it to another buyer for $10,000, almost 10x amount. That way, Jackie is also being profited, as well as even my NFT art. Since I have 10% in the contract, Jackie can't change it, right? So I get, because Jackie made that sale, I'm getting $1,000 from that $10,000 sale, and Jackie gets $9,000, right? And then probably Aryan purchases that. Aryan is the one who bought it for $10,000. he sells it to someone for $100,000, right? I get $10,000 from that, and that Aryan gets $90,000. So that's a beautiful process because it helps artists survive in the long run. I'm sure you guys know some artists who's always quit because it's not financially viable for them. This is a way for artists to have food on their table in perpetuity. That is extremely important, especially for artists. And sometimes in these contracts, right, since artists are so focused on creating that piece of art, we don't have time to focus on whether we're getting paid, how much we're getting paid. There is no clarity or transparency in that. We just have to listen to our manager. So here we don't have to do any of that. The blockchain takes care of everything. That it removes all the middlemen, and it directly brings you closer to the actual collector of your piece of art. So that is a beautiful thing. So yeah, these are the two main standards on the Ethereum blockchain, which are used as of now. So either as a one of one piece, which is a single edition piece, or a community based piece, which has multiple editions of this. Any doubts in this as of now? Hey Alan, let me know if you have a doubt. Being a digital artist that tried a few years, I can say that was extremely difficult, plus a lot of nonsense. Very true. Very happy to see how this. Yes, exactly, and this is extremely important, right? Because again, even people were just uploading these masterpieces for, say, I think it was 15 years, and just imagine what he would have gone through, and he finally got his payday, right? It got sold for $69 million, the entire chunk, which Vignesh Sundaresan, he's Meta Coven, and he's also a South Indian, who's in, I think, Singapore right now. But he plans to deploy it into some metaverse or Decentraland or thing like that, where people can come and see this masterpiece. So it's very special that artists are finally getting that platform to make a living out of it. I'm not talking about luxury. To make a living out of it, just to survive, they are having that opportunity. So that is very special. Okay, if there's no doubts, please let's move ahead. Awesome. Okay, so this is where I want to brush up on a couple of like technical details, right? So obviously the Ethereum blockchain is the most important because of its smart contracts and its flexibility, and it is the most widely used platform, the blockchain, in terms of getting out NFTs, like for artists, right? But there are other blockchains as well. A very close, I would say, close thing to the Ethereum blockchain is the Tezos blockchain. So this is again it uses a proof of stake mechanism, and it's very important, right? So right now even Ethereum is moving towards a proof of stake. So what I mean by that, there are two major things which you need to concern yourself with. Right now Ethereum is proof of work, which means all these big miners, these people who process the transactions, right? So it's not big banks doing this, it's these actual people who are running these mining systems and these rigs, who are actually processing the transactions, right? So they need to have that much, the person with the most hash power and hash rate and things like that, that person gets to process the transaction. So it's proof of stake, the more proof of work. The more amount of processing power you have, computational power, the more chances you will get the transaction fee from that particular transaction, which is the gas fee which we are paying, right, to process a transaction. So that is called proof of work, which is right now very energy heavy, and which is why Ethereum is making that move to proof of stake. What is proof of stake? It's very simple. You whatever, say I have 100 Ethereum, right? I can just take that, I can give it to these people who process the transactions, and the more it is staked, right, the more chances of you getting the transaction to go through and getting that transaction fee. Thereby we're not burning as much power or consuming as much electricity as proof of work, because we're not working, right? That is very important. So all we're doing is staking, and the person who gets the most amount of staked tokens gets the transaction fee. So thereby it's reducing the transaction fee, as well as it's reducing the energy consumption as well. So proof of stake is a beautiful process. I would urge you to go look into it if you want to dive deep into that as well. So most of the protocols and the blockchains are moving to a proof of stake, proof of storage. You can use your hard disk to mine stuff, right? So there are different things like that. But since we are on the NFT topic, proof of stake is what we're concerned with, is what many blockchains are moving into, or blockchains are already using that, right? So how we have ERC20 in Ethereum, here we have FA2 standard, which is a non-fungible standard as well. So this is on the Tezos blockchain. There are other blockchains which are developing these NFT platforms. For example, Polygon is working on it, Matic, yes. Binance Smart Chain, which is uh, sort of it's modeled after the Ethereum code, right? But again, Binance Smart Chain has already moved to proof of stake, which is why a lot of transactions are happening on the BSC, because it is on a proof of stake model. Cardano is there, Wax blockchain, and different things like that. So every blockchain has its own pros and cons. So right now Ethereum has that community, has that flexibility of dApps and all these things. So which is why it's the current leader, but it's big. The gap is narrowing down. Okay. Cool. Okay, so this is where I would like you guys to make a note of this, please, if possible. So you can just either take a screenshot, or we can make this publicly available at some point. That's okay. But if you like to research it right away tonight, just make a note of this. These are some of the most widely used NFT platforms or marketplaces. The first one being Foundation, which is extremely exclusive. You need an invite from someone who's made a sale. Once you made a sale, you get an invite, which you can invite other people with. OpenSea, you don't need an invite. Anyone can go and upload your work. All that is on the ERC20 as well. Rarible is there. NFT Gateway, obviously we know NFT Gateway. Super Rare, Known Origin. Mintable is where they have this option of you don't need to pay a gas fee at all, right? The person who's buying the artwork from you gets to pay the gas fee. I'll tell you what gas fee is when we go to the process of minting it. NBA Top Shot, I'm sure you guys would have seen this in the news. These cards which got sold and these these blocks which got sold for a lot of money. And Decentraland it has its own metaverse as well, and Sandbox and all these things. Avigochi and things like that. Oh, I've actually mentioned Mintable twice. My bad. So Calamint is on the Tezos blockchain, which is the platform which I'm on. Hiketnunk is on the Tezos blockchain as well. Byteblock is on the Tezos blockchain. Async is where you can make procedural music. So there is procedural art. There's also procedural music, right? So you can just layer different sounds, and people can create their own music out of it, right? So all these basic audios is where you can sell your tracks as NFTs and things like that. Engine, obviously, yes, in the NFT space. Portion is on the Matic chain. WazirX is on the Binance Smart chain, and things like that, right? So you can make a list of it, or if you want to take a quick picture of it and refer back to it later. So these are all the places which have built a marketplace, and they allow you to transact with your buyers, right? So that is the best way to think of what exactly is a marketplace. So I can upload it onto these platforms, and someone can buy it from that particular platform. It's just bridging. It's acting as the middleman between the buyer and the seller. Okay, there's a question from Softwater. How to solve the problem of confirming the property rights of NFT works? Some people upload other people's works, correct, on chain and sell them for profit. How the system can identify in time in order to avoid infringements on the property rights of those, correct. So there is an example, right? So a very good friend, his artwork was someone just took a screenshot of it and uploaded on a different platform. So it's like going from say Foundation to OpenSea or different things like that, right? So, and the important thing is the community recognized it. So that is where we as artists, we have our own style of work, right? So the community can recognize, okay, the moment you see these space and something reacting to beatboxing, you know that this is my style of art. I hope so, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The layer 2 comes in the form of NFTs, comes from the community. The security protocol is through the community. That is the beautiful thing about NFTs, right? So you can point out, okay, hey, this is Abhishek Bhaskar's work. I'm gonna report this. Someone else is using Abhishek Bhaskar's work on some other platform, so you can report it. So that's why many platforms now have this report option where you can showcase. But there have been process where the sale has already been done, which is why as buyers or collectors it is extremely important to research or connect with the seller, right? If you just buy it for the sake of it, right, say 100 Ethereum piece, and someone is selling it for 1 Ethereum, you have to be a little suspicious of that, right? So that is how it works. So you as a seller right now need to have that responsibility, but they are also working. It is in the works where it is they are recognizing the IP of it, and it's included in the proof of authenticity. So that is happening, that is in the works as well. I hope that answered your question. Soft water, good to see this is improving and the artist rights can be protected. Yes, exactly. So that is what is happening right now and is extremely important. So all those artworks which we're taking screenshots of, they were reported before the sale happened, which was a really good thing. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is where we'll be spending quite some time on. So I just want you guys to understand the complete procedure, right? If anyone wants to mint an artwork even tonight, they can do so. I'm saying tonight because right now it's 8:45, but if it's in the morning for you, well and good, go for it. You have an entire day to create your own NFT, right? So the step one which you need to remember, again, it's an 8-step process. It's an extremely simple. Minting is the least of your worries. It's just a word which people don't understand. It's just uploading your work. So I'll take you through it. So first is you create your artwork or whatever piece of content you or asset you want to upload onto the blockchain, or you want to make an NFT out of, right? So it could be a painting, or it could be something which is say you want to upload a 3D model of something, right? And you want people to collect that 3D model, you can do that too. Yeah. So first thing is just create whatever you already have. Just create that artwork for yourself, like how you normally would. You don't have to think about the NFT aspect of it, right? The second step is choosing the appropriate blockchain for you to mint. So let's go back and see what are all the different blockchains. So we have ERC, we have Tezos, and all these other blockchains. So say for example, Tezos is it has lower transaction fee, right? And me as an artist, I can't afford to pay say $100 or $200 worth of gas fee. So this is a good time to touch up on the gas fee concept. So say you have you need to pay for a transaction, like banks usually charge 4%, right, of the total transaction cost. So if it's $1 million, 4% of $1 million goes into that, like the transaction fee. But anyways, so here you have to pay the same for the transaction fee, because to validate that you are sending something to someone, right, you're sending X to Y, it has to be validated by all these people who are decentralized, like these people who are running these rigs. And right now, since it's proof of work, it needs to be validated by these computational power purely on that, right? So once they validate it, they need to be rewarded for all the work they are doing, right? That is the gas fee which you pay in. If it's on the Ethereum blockchain, you pay it via Ethereum. So gas is nothing but the cost of transaction fees, that's it, to get your transaction across, and that is paid via Ethereum, right? So that is as easy as that. So you need to choose the appropriate blockchain which is suitable for you, if you're okay with it. Say if you're selling your work for 1 Ethereum, or say 2 Ethereum, or say 100 Ethereum, right? You're not going to be bothered about the transaction cost. It's very minimal. Say it can just be around $20, or it might sometimes go up to $200. But in the long run, like the entire cost of sale, it doesn't matter in the long run. So you can go for that. Or if you're say you're selling your artwork for there are people selling it for say $10, but 10,000 pieces of it, right? They make $100,000 from that. So in that case, every transaction can't be more than the cost of the artwork itself. So then you can choose like the Tezos blockchain, which costs around say less than $50 maybe to mint a particular NFT, right? So see, the different blockchains. So whereas Tezos costs just like less than $50 or just a couple of cents, Ethereum costs that much. But again, that is proof of work. Once Ethereum moves to proof of stake, the transaction cost will obviously reduce drastically. So that is how it works right now. So you are free to choose whichever blockchain you'd like, depending on these parameters which you decide for yourself, right? So yeah, step 2 is choosing the blockchain of your choice, and step 3 is you need to create a wallet, right? Even for example, CQT, most of the alchemists here, right? So to get that, you need a wallet to take that rewards, right? So you need something most commonly used is MetaMask for your Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain. So you can set up all these different blockchains inside your wallet as well. Or for example, if you're adopting the Tezos blockchain, you need a temple wallet, which is an exact replica of MetaMask, but specifically for the Tezos blockchain. Let me just, can NFT move from one chain to another? Not yet. This is Pal. Not yet. So there is going to be interoperability and bridging in the future. So what could essentially be done is you can buy say from OpenSea, or say buy from Tezos because the transaction cost will be less, and move it to OpenSea or Foundation or things like that. Again, it's all about how these different blockchains and platforms work towards each other. That would basically mean moving it from one contract to another safely and without the loss of the NFT itself, and then being able to sell it on their native currency or blockchain. For example, Rarible has Rari token, right? So things like that. So the interoperability is a definite thing that is happening. Just the ETA, the timeline on that is not fixed yet. So I hope that answered your question. But that is where NFTs are going to go mainstream, right? That is going to be extremely beautiful to watch, because that will open up secondary markets. I'll tell you what secondary markets are. But that is what will happen. A lot of more people are going to come in and purchase depending on which blockchain they like. As easy as that, right? So interoperability and bridging in terms of different chains is going to be a definite feature which is going to come up. Okay, yeah. So step 3 is creating your wallet depending on which blockchain you choose. And again, for every blockchain it has its own gas fee or transaction fee. I'm not going to call it gas fee anymore, because there's another term. It's essentially your transaction fee. All right. So basically for that you need to add some funds to your wallet. So that you can just purchase that if you're using Coinbase or Binance or some Indian exchange or some any exchange which is in your country. You can use that with your fiat currency. Fiat currency is your actual money which you're using right now for your daily life. You can move that into crypto and convert that into say either Ethereum or BNB. If you're on the Binance Smart Chain, you have to pay gas through BNB. If you're on the Ethereum blockchain, you need to pay it via Ethereum. And if you're on the Tezos blockchain, you need to pay the gas fee, the transaction fee via Tezos, right? So things like that. You just need to add some respective funds of that particular blockchain into your wallet, just so that you can mint your NFT or pay for the transaction fees. Now the next step is, once you've done all these, you finished 4 steps, you're halfway through choosing the appropriate marketplace on that particular blockchain. So let's go back to this. Yeah. So right now Foundation, OpenSea, and all these things, they're primarily on the Ethereum blockchain, right? And Kalamint, Hiketnunk, Bazaar, and all these things, they are on the Tezos blockchain, right? So different things like that. You need to choose a marketplace which works for you. If you're just making one of one, Foundation probably, and if you're making say 10 editions of one particular piece, OpenSea, right? And different parameters like that which you need to figure out for yourself. It depends on you and your artwork specifically, and for every person it's going to be different, right? So once you do that, we just go through this. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the next thing is just minting the artwork. It is as easy as just uploading it. So you'll have a bunch of, so once you're approved on the platform, the NFT marketplace, you'll just have to go to create my NFT. Again, I'm just giving you as a standard. It is going to be the same format on all these marketplaces. You can put the title of your NFT saying, okay, for example, in my case, my title of the NFT was Meta Voice, right? So Meta Voice 01, because I'll be creating multiple generations of Meta Voice. It'll be Meta Voice 01, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dot dot dot, right? So I'm going to put the title, and I'm also going to put the description, so what the collector would see. If you've been to an art gallery, you'll see the same exact detail like a physical art gallery. You'll see the name of the art piece and some description which describes the artwork itself. So you'll have that. So you have to make the same description, and also you can mention your royalties, right? Saying that, okay, if someone purchases this piece of art, I'm gonna get this percent of royalty. And because that is essentially what you're doing is you're creating your own smart contract. Minting is back end. What is happening is you're creating your own smart contract in the back end, but for you it's all simplified, so that you just have some details which you can enter. That's it, right? So you have your transaction, your royalty percentage. So it could be 10% or 50% in some cases, right? So usually that is the bracket which work with. I wouldn't recommend 50%, because it will be very hard for the collector to resell it, right? Unless they plan on holding it forever as a physical art piece, or like an art piece in their wallet. That's okay. It's up to you. You have the complete freedom. This is the beauty of it, right? So you can choose what you want to do with your piece of art. No one is responsible for it except you, and that's a beautiful thing, because that is how it should be done. You should be responsible for every single thing you do. Wow, that just got deep, but yeah. Let me just get some questions. How can I decide which marketplace is appropriate? Is there any standards or information that it would be better to check? I would like to address this once the presentation is over, because I've set aside some time for, especially for such questions, and have like an interaction with everyone. So I would love to do that. Yeah. So I will address this because I want to talk more into it, but this one I just want to get through so that we're all on the same page in terms of the actual procedure of listing it. So once you do it, so think of minting as your in the physical space. I'm giving you an example. All right. So you're going to the gallery owner, right, or the gallery curator, and telling them, look at my piece of art. Do you like it? Right? And I would love to showcase it on your platform. And the curator agrees, and you go ahead. So that is the easiest way to get this across. Minting is nothing but you're creating your smart contract on the blockchain, and also you're creating your royalty and your contract for yourself as an artist in perpetuity, right? So if, for example, you burn the contract, right, the entire contract ceases to exist. Just like physically, if you burn up a physical contract, right, and you delete all the digital copies of it on your system, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore, right? But anyways, so this is the easiest way to understand minting. If you understood this, rest all is extremely easy. So the next process is listing your artwork, right? So listing is nothing but you're telling your curator that, okay, look, I am in your gallery right now. I want to sell this particular artwork of mine for, say, this much of currency. Like I want to sell it for $10,000 or $1,000,000 or 10 million or $1 billion, right? So that is where you have complete control, and listing is just you're putting it for sale, right? So you're telling the marketplace that I want to list my NFT for this particular price, right? So you can do that. And after that, it's all about showcasing your NFT. It's literally, once you mint it, your NFT is live in perpetuity on the blockchain, right? And it'll show up in your wallet as well, and people who collect it, it'll be there in their wallet as well. So whenever they log into MetaMask or Temple Wallet or something like that, just like how they have, say they have one Ethereum, say some other couple of ERC20 tokens, and they'll also have one Meta Voice. It shows one Meta Voice, right, which is like one token of Meta Voice, which is essentially like one coin of Meta Voice. So yeah, that's how it works in terms of like a visual representation of how it looks in your wallet. And the eighth step is just showcasing your NFT to the world. You're done. That's it. That's how easy it is, right? and this is the entire process of and again there are different types of selling your work, but that is up to you if you want to auction your work or go for a fixed price. Auction is where you decide, okay, I'm going to list this at a base price. I need minimum of say 1 Ethereum, and if someone wants to bid more on it, maybe someone really really wants it, they can bid more on it. That way I get paid more as well, right? I list it for 1 Ethereum. Say Jackie bids 1.5 Ethereum on it, and then Aryan comes in and no, I really want it, I'm gonna bid 2 Ethereum on it, right? And then probably Softwater comes in and says no, 5 Ethereum, I really really need this, and everyone else is gonna say okay, that's too much for me, I'm gonna opt out. So so the person with the most amount of value, which is they've given to your artwork, they get the piece of art in an auction based system. In a fixed system, I don't want to focus on all that. I just want 5 Ethereum for my artwork, right? So whoever's the first person to buy it, they get it. So that way, as soon as I list my work, Jackie notices it, right? And Jackie has 10 Ethereum, out of which she has allocated say 5 Ethereum for one really big piece of artwork, and she really likes my piece of work, and she goes and purchases this piece of work, right? She's the first one, she gets it, so that's in her wallet in perpetuity, and she can resell that later as well. So that's the beauty of these different types, because it is giving us the power as artists to sell our work the way we want. Otherwise, usually if you're in say a record label or some under some contract, there is only a specific way you can do things, right? Only through streaming, and again streaming 30% of your cut goes into these big corporations and things like that. So it's a huge rabbit hole of information which we are not bothering about, because the blockchain is taking care of all of those things which we artists shouldn't focus on. Honestly, we need to focus on creating beautiful pieces of art that mean something to people, right? So that is the beauty of NFTs. There is one Q&A I just want to: how to protect works from being replaced by imposters. Yeah, that is the I so yeah, see, the community acts as the layer 2 thing, but right now there is also, it's currently happening where they are developing protocols, security based protocols, which have IP attached to them, so that when you create that piece of art, it's essentially you. But what we can do as a community, if I am buying your piece of art, I need to check with you, the artist, I need to talk to you. That's what I do with all my collectors. Again, if someone is foolish enough to buy it without talking to me, I really can't control that, because we're in a decentralized system now. But I always love talking to the collectors, my collectors, because I want to understand them, what value they can add to my piece, right? It's not just a one-way street where they can just buy it, but I would also like to understand their journey, what they've done, why this particular piece of art means so much to them, because that will help me understand, okay, this is what my art is affecting people in, right? And that helps me better myself as an artist. So right now, imposters, that is a huge thing. So that's why some NFT platforms have introduced these things where you can report the artwork, and then the backend, the team looks into it and see checks if there's something similar or resembling it, or it's a direct replica of it, right? So that is the only thing which is available right now. But again, we are just a couple of like just less than a year into this NFT mania. So give it time, it will definitely be worked upon. People are already working upon it. So I hope that answered your question, Ing. I can see Ing here, so sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. There are 3 more questions. Okay, cool. Okay. So this is the easiest way you can create your NFT. I hope this was easy enough to comprehend, so that it pushes you to yeah, it pushes you to create your own artworks as well. So even if it doesn't matter what type or whether your artwork is good enough or not. If you see value in it, and you understand if other people see value in it, right, then definitely go ahead. The best time to start an NFT is right now. So whenever you feel confident about it, and I really hope you do, because please don't have inhibitions of whether my art is good enough or not, right? Upload it, the community will tell you, the community will respond. And even if you don't make a sale, that does not mean your artwork is bad, right? So it just means that it's taking time to find the right collector, right? So that is what takes time. And I have a couple of things which I want to address of how artists need to address this concept of selling as many artworks as possible. Please don't do that. So for me, I took my time, I curated my buyers, because I'm thinking long term, right? How they can add value back into my own system. So that's how I work. And yeah, I want to address that in the next slide. Okay, we have one. Okay, we have a question. In certain countries or regions, due to some well-known, just give me 1 second. In certain countries or regions, due to some well-known reasons, I know some people are trying to bypass these architectures to develop some brand new NFT platforms. Are you aware of this and willing to work with them on these platforms based on these different structures? Because once the most important point, the IP rights of art creators can be protected, it seems a way for the artists in these regions or countries to get on chain, no matter what kind of blockchain. I would love to. If there is, again, I am aware of some people who are addressing this issue, which can be a major issue in the future. That is why they're addressing it right now, so that they're ahead of the curve. But if you know anyone who would, where I can add value, I would love to. I'm not sure exactly what the question is here, but yeah, I understand the statement you're trying to make, and definitely that is something which many people are working on at this point, where your artwork comes with the IP attached. So that is another asset value add for the collector as well. They are getting the IP with the NFT. Okay. Yes. Okay. So any doubts on this particular slide before we move ahead? Please let me know. You're welcome. Any doubts? If not, let's go on to the next slide. So this was the most important thing, right? You understood how to create your or mint your first NFT. So this is how easy it is. Please don't let anyone tell you it's extremely complex or anything like that. It's extremely simple. For me especially, I get a lot of anxiety with these terms. So that's why I try to understand and deep dive into every single term which I learn, because I want to be as precise as possible. But for me, I've learned these things and it's extremely simple. It was not as a deep dive of a particular topic as I'd expected, because it's just a matter of, if you understand like very basic, like what is minting, that's more than enough to create. If you know how to upload a photo on Facebook, you can upload this thing, because even there you put your title, your description and all that, right? Same exact thing is happening here. Here you're just attaching a royalty to it, that's it. So please don't worry or be worried about this thing. Do a couple of test things as well. So if you're really scared, just do a couple of tests and save your main artwork for something, like the main. Once you're pro at it, go for it. Okay. Hi Alan, any questions? Let me know, man. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so these are some guidelines or suggestions which I'd like to humbly tell people who haven't minted their first NFT yet. The reason why I'm saying first NFT is because that is when you realize, once you mint your first NFT, you realize all these things. Yeah. Okay, so the first one, I want you guys to read this. This has to be a golden rule. Please create what you want to create, not what the collectors want to buy, right? So again, it's there are a lot of collectors right now, but please don't do it that way, because you're just diminishing the artwork itself. It's not art anymore. It's sort of like a influential art at this point. Your artwork is getting influenced by what sells and what doesn't sell, right? So for example, imagine Meta Voice. If I'd made it something like, again, like the pixel things are trending, right? So if I made it like that, probably I could have sold it more, but that is not my intent. I want to showcase my artwork the way I wanted people to see it, right? So that, for me, that is beautiful, because in the long run, all these the trends will keep moving. So it will move from one element to another, but the core of NFTs will stay behind. So I want you guys to please remember that, don't go for what people are craving for. Do what you want to do and find the right collector for the piece, right? That is the most important thing which you need to remember. Don't let your artwork be influenced by trends or anything like that. Create what you want to create. If you want to make a physical artwork like a painting, go for it, do it. This, you can sell a physical painting as an NFT as well. Do we have any questions? Okay. Sorry, let me just go back to this. Okay, it is your responsibility, the second point, to showcase your artwork and show value to the collector. That is very important as well. Again, here in the NFT space, you're the jack of all trades, right? You need to know how to market your work, you need to understand how to sell your work, as well as obviously create your work as well. So when you're creating your work, you need to be able to explain to your collector what exactly are they getting, or what exactly are they purchasing, or that is what are they collecting. They need to understand that. So you need to be clear in terms of what exactly are you selling, right? In terms of IP rights, are you giving any IP rights, or can they just use it to keep it in their wallet, or if it's a painting they can put it in their house. Exactly, all these things is what you need to mention to your collector. Also, please make sure it has some utility and good value to the collector. Even if it's, when I say utility, for example, in my meta voice piece, I offer a couple of utilities which are specific to the collector, right? Because meta voice is such an abstract that the utility could be anything. So different things like that. So you need to find some utility in your artwork. So maybe something like, if you purchase this digital artwork, right, I will probably send you a physical version, like a print of it as a delivered piece to your house or something like that. Also, this is another thing: do not overmint or overprice or underprice your work. So say if your artwork is, you make 100,000 editions of this, so right, how will there be a rarity in it? Rarity is value in the NFT space. Right now we're still in that collectible mindset, right? So when you think of a collectible, it has to be rare, or if everyone can collect it, it's not rare, right? So that is what you need to think about. So when I say overmint, make way too many collections or editions of it than what the current market has in mind, right? So do not overmint. Or also when you're pricing your work, right, this is, again, this is an abstract, it is very subjective, right? I could have also put my work for say 100 ethereum, right? So it's totally based upon it's very subjective to the artist. So but I would suggest, do not underprice your work as well, because in the long run it it affects your overall market value. And please do not overprice it, because ultimately you have to give value. It goes back to the second point: you have to provide value to your collector, and if they want to resell it, right, they need to have a margin as well. So usually, like, a general thumb rule is like 1:10 of sorts, right? Say if Jackie purchases, as I said, if Jackie gets my work for $1,000, I want Jackie to get 10x of it at least. As simple as that, right? So that in a way, again, the x varies, whether it's 2x or 10x. It depends, because essentially these are artist works, and just like crypto, it keeps fluctuating depending on a various number of factors. So you need to be in a position where you can give them that value as well. Yeah. And next one is understand the potential of secondary markets and price your work. That's exactly what I was saying. So you need to understand, okay, if Jackie can sell it at this particular price, she can get this piece at this particular price. So that is pretty important. And yeah, and please understand this: we're all in a new space. So come up with innovative stuff to market. Can be in terms of marketing strategies and the way you showcase your work, right? So there are AR apps right now where you can show your work in augmented reality, like in real space, but you can put your digital object there. So think of all the different ways where you can figure out, okay, by presenting it this way, I can make it unique for my collector. And also, building a community is extremely important. Um, at least for me, because again, I'm only thinking about the long term vision, because NFTs, I'm almost 100% sure it will take over our everyday lives, right? Say it could be non-fungible tickets if you want to watch it in a stadium or something like that. But anyways, focus on building a community, because that can also later become a DAO of sorts. I don't want to get into DAOs at this point, because again, um, there's so much more to explore in it, and that could be a separate topic as well. I think Pratik would be the Pratik and Jackie and everyone. So they are the DAO kings and queens. But yeah, anyways, so build focus on building a community, because ultimately that helps you build. The reason why you're in this decentralized space is because you don't want to be controlled by all these people, right? So then you have to connect with the people on a deeper level. That's why you're in this space. So build a community, get it right. Uniqueness, rarity, utility, demand, and that X factor. For example, in my case, the uniqueness is there's nothing like it. It's with beatboxing and it's showcasing a different evolution of the human voice. Rarity, I just made 5 pieces in the first edition. I upped it by making only 1 piece in the second edition. Does not mean that I'll keep doing one of ones. I can bring it back into a community piece. I can play around with it, right? But that there is a sense of rarity. I'm not making 10,000 editions of meta voice and all that, right? So utility, right? That is where people can showcase the artworks with their people, and get various forms of utility. Demand, right? So I am building that demand right now. Before this, no one knew what it was, right? Similar to how Apple came in with that. That is where you actually show people what the demand is. It is your responsibility as an artist to show what the demand is. So all these things play a very vital role, and this is I really love this point. Please do not be shy, or no, don't procrastinate that you have to create something. Please do it right away, right? So the best time to create is now. So this in its essence was what NFTs is about. I just want to address a few things in chat. Depends on what you want to create. Yes, there are several different tools. Yes, and also yeah, go check out Jackie's Instagram. I love the pieces which she's creating. um, Recommend watching YouTube videos. Yes, true. Okay, great. Yeah, so these essentially is what NFTs are. Perfect. Yes, thanks, Jackie. So NFT is in its like a a small nutshell. This is what it is. But please dive into it right now, and get as much information as possible. Okay, so this is actually something which I would like to work on, but since I think we're running short on time, this is something which you can do as your homework, right? So that way you can also get some ideas which you can use for yourself. So take this as a 5 minute exercise and get some different ideas into play here, right? So create something like a different use case for NFTs, right? So it could be watching only a certain number of episodes by say Black Mirror. So Black Mirror can launch some one episode purely as NFTs, right? And only people who purchase that NFT can see that Black Mirror episode. So something like that. It could be anything. So I don't want to spend time on this. uh, I want you guys to take this as an exercise and work on it on your own projects. Okay, metaverses, right? What is this thing called the metaverse? It's a digital universe essentially. And again, here you can, especially as an architect, you don't have to be bound by the laws of engineering or physics. You can do whatever you want. You can go crazy in this digital space, right? Because essentially it's a 3D space which we've created for ourselves, and you can deep dive into it and explore it. Like if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, I would strongly urge, you have the entire day. If you have the time, please go watch Ready Player One right away, as in right after this workshop. It's a beautiful movie which explains the metaverse in its pure essence. Okay, so you can explore it with your VR, like your Oculus or anything like that. You can just plug in and you can dive deep into the metaverse, and it's exactly like a virtual universe. Like you can walk, you can meet people, you can say hi, you can party with them and things like that. So that is in its essence is what the metaverse is. Anyone can do it. I just want to give some different things. So for example, please watch this video. Once this workshop is done, look at Travis Scott and Fortnite, what they did in terms of bringing the every player in the game has their own avatar on Fortnite, right? So during this musical event, Travis Scott was performing virtually inside the game, and they also revealed plans, I think, of their metaverse as well. So different maps for Fortnite and things like that. So that was a beautiful experience. And even Facebook executives have their own metaverse, right? That's something which they're working on. So yeah, so exactly. So that's an amazing movie, right? Ready Player One. It just blew my mind. It's one of my favorite movies. Okay, so this is something which you can use as your references. This is the Ready Player One movie which I'm talking about. So if you see here to this guy's left, so people are living in these vertical cities, like these containers which are stacked one upon each other. That place is called the stacks in the movie, right? It's set in, I think, 2040, but people can just, everyone is just plugged in, and through their Oculus and these VR headsets, and they are interacting in the virtual world. So every single action they take is just from their home, like what we're interacting, right? Every one of us is in our own houses and working from home and all that, and we're all still interacting with each other. So it's like our own basic, like really basic version of a metaverse. So there are different games you can play as well, like Sandbox and Decentraland, and you can build in Decentraland. You can say build your own museum and showcase your NFTs there. So that's a beautiful use case as well. And yeah, please go watch the movie Ready Player One. I would strongly urge you to do that. Okay, so the future of NFTs and digital ownerships, right? Sports event tickets as NFTs. It's already happening. Mark Cuban is working on it. So Mark Cuban is the owner of Dallas Mavericks, uh, Shark Tank. So he's one of the sharks there, and it's really innovative what is being done in the NFT space. So when you purchase a ticket, only you're the rightful owner of it. No one can change it, right? So that is being done. Physical art pieces, NFTs, that's being done. So for example, a painting can come attached with an RFID tag or like a QR code or something like that, right? With its own proof of authenticity. So that can be shipped to people across the globe. So if someone wants to purchase a particular piece of art, they get the physical piece as well, and that can be moved from person to person depending on when they resell it or something like that. Musical performances as NFTs, that is coming up too. So that is happening. So for example, you can have things like these where only a certain number of people can be a part of it, and say 10,000 people want to attend a concert, but only 1,000 tickets are going to be there, right? The first 1,000 people to grab the NFT are the rightful owners. They can then resell it to the other 10,000, like 9,000 people who are interested in the piece. So government regulation and ownerships, in terms of say, okay, one particular asset, like a government based asset, is owned by a particular person. You say, imagine the amount of legal trouble and things you can save through this particular NFT use case. NFT games, that's already happening. A lot of Decentraland, Sandbox, and all these things. And this happened yesterday. The TV show Stoner Cats by Ashton Kutcher and his company. So it was called Stoner Cats. Obviously, you know what Stoner is, right? Yeah. So I think I don't know how many editions of Stoner Cats they had, but I think it's all sold out now. So these are basically like utility based things. So whoever purchases this NFT, they get access to the episodes, like the TV show which is created for Stoner Cats. So it's like a bunch of 5 cats, I think, and they have their own TV show. But only if you have the NFT, you can watch that TV show. Document registrations, yeah. So saying that only I, Abhishek, own a particular piece, that could be like a document registration. App store and app purchases, that can become NFTs too, right? So say a game can only be played with by downloading this NFT, and only then you get access to it on the app store, something like that. And utility and club memberships, you can look at what Bored Apes Yacht Club they're doing. So they are giving access in terms of connecting with people all across the globe. Their own apes have their own Twitter handles and things like that. It's a beautiful thing. So you get, like how you have like a physical club, you go to a club, you're a member there, right? So this is in the digital space. You're part of this elite club of people who own that particular piece of NFT. It's essentially a DAO at this point. So decentralized autonomous organization. But yeah, so what that is, if I just want to brush up on DAOs for a second. So it's nothing but you're creating a community of people who are working towards a common goal, and their ownership is fortified by these NFTs. As easy as that. I just want to leave it at that. If you want to dive deeper into it, again, I was a part of this community call with Covalent as well. So a lot of nuggets of information were there. Okay. Okay, so now this is where I want to address some questions. So if you have any questions on anything at all, I would love to address them. Anything about NFTs or metaverses. Yes. Also, yeah, Jackie. I urge everyone to read Jackie's and the comment in the chat box. You will be getting a POAP for attending this workshop, so you can reach out to Jackie on her Discord ID. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please launch it at me right away. I also was supposed to address one question, which was, let me just please, how do you start from scratch from being a digital artist? Oh, that's what Jackie addressed. uh, what applications should one use, or what courses should one take? I'm not a strong believer in terms of taking courses to learn something, because again, it can be anything, whatever you want to learn. So as Jackie said, if you want to focus on, like, these 2D based artworks where you work in a 2D environment, you can again go for Photoshop. There are various softwares. If you're in 3D, you can explore open source softwares like Blender, or paid softwares like C4D, Octane. It could be anything. There are people working on NFTs using AutoCAD, right? So a lot of potential is there. Please don't depend on what tools you're going to use. Focus on what art you're going to create, and then figure out what tools is required, what tools you need to achieve that. In my case, I wanted to show the physics of it, right? So I use a different set of tools to generate that, and then to show it to the people to render it out, I use a different software. Okay. But before that, there was one other question I think I was supposed to address, which I said I was going to address. Was that the one? How can I? Yeah, correct. Now this is from Pink Panther. How can I decide which marketplace is appropriate? Is there any standards or information that it would be better to check? Honestly, at this point, it is your personal decision, and it's entirely up to you. For example, say you could also talk to your collectors. I'm not talking about what art you're going to create. I'm talking about once your art is created, you can talk to, if you have an interested collector, right? You can talk to them as to which platform they're already on, or if they're new, you can tell them, check out the Ethereum blockchain, check out the Tezos blockchain, and then you can decide a marketplace on any of those platforms depending on the community they have as well. Again, community plays a really vital role in this space, so that becomes extremely important in terms of the marketplace which you choose. In my case, I love the Colormint community which was there, and which is the reason. And also they had this clean NFT movement in terms of reduced gas costs and all that. So again, the barriers of entry, the more it is reduced, the more it will bring more artists and collectors onto the platform. So things like that. And all my I think all my Genesis piece collectors are the first buyers. So even for them, the first piece which they collected, they are also new. So I am bringing collectors onto the NFT platforms as well, right? So that is where artists can add value back to the marketplace as well. At the same time, we can also, it's a mutual connection of sorts. So I am promoting the clean NFT movement, and that is why I'm bringing collectors onto the space. And at the same time, we're also reducing the gas cost for the collectors, right? So say instead of saving on $30 to $100 in gas cost, that could be the price of the art itself. So things like that. It all depends on the monetary factors, as well as what community you like and you like to associate with, and things like that. But honestly, it is up to you. You have complete control. I would want to. Oh, is Ganesh here? Oh, okay, that's another. Okay, cool. So I hope I answered your question, Pink Panther. So yeah, if anyone has any more questions, would love to address it. Do let me know. Oh, it's already over. Okay, great. So hope you got some ideas from this. I don't know if you were listening to this. I'm so sorry. Okay, so also one thing I would like to address in terms of the NFT space is yeah, focus on building your community, but at the same time always keep evolving your artwork as well, and please stick to, I would say, one style of artwork. So in my case, it has to do with like these space and cyberpunk based pieces, inspired pieces, at the same time having some sort of an audio based element to it, because these are the two things which I work on, right? So I'm a beatboxer and I'm a designer, but I primarily have these influences which I like to showcase, because in the long run that becomes your IP, so to speak, right? So people recognize your work because of that. For example, if something, it's like a Rothko's work, so Rothko, the artist, or Banksy, right? So when you see a particular piece, you know who is the artist behind that. Or even recently Damien Hirst, right? So like these big blue, like not blue, but so many colors are there, like big dots which are so characteristic of his work, right? You can instantly recognize that, okay, this is the artist behind that. So I think that is the thing which you need to develop over time. But how you develop that over time is basically you get that style across, you develop your own style, so that your style becomes your long term IP, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is a good point. And if you have any questions, please shoot it up on the chat. Or do we have anything here? Okay, any other questions, or can we proceed to the beatboxing part of it, where Jackie gets to beatbox for us? Okay, cool. Then let's proceed to a small beatboxing session as well. I would
Oh
like to
dear.
teach you guys beatboxing. So let me stop sharing my screen. Hey Jackie, I hope you're ready. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
It's all good. Let's do it.
As our leader, you have to beatbox. Okay.
Okay.
So you can follow Jackie as well, guys. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna teach Jackie how to beatbox. At the same time, you can learn how to beatbox as well. All right. So Jackie, what I want you to do is we're gonna be learning three different sounds. All right, which
Okay.
is, all right, these three different sounds. So the
Okay.
first sound is the kick drum, all right, which a drummer has this huge drum which he just kicks, and that drum just gets it. All right, so how we're going to do that is, step one, fill your mouth with air as big as possible. And I'm glad this is getting recorded. Yeah, so fill your mouth with as much air as possible and say the word boo. 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 Exactly, you already got it. So the step number three would be cut the oo, right? What you're left with is what you exactly got. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is that's, you got it way quicker than I expected, but that's amazing. So that is sound number one, and Jackie already got it, and I would like everyone else to get it as well. All right, there are three steps in this bass drum. All right, fill your mouth with air, say the word boo, oo, and the third one is cut the oo sound from it. What you're left with is, that's it. All right, second sound, Jackie, you can clench your teeth, say e, all right, and
E.
say the alphabet T. Exactly. Yes. Awesome. Right. So that's how easy it is. Again, second sound is the easiest sound. Okay. The third sound is slightly harder, probably the hardest sound. So I'm gonna give you two options for that, Jackie. So first
Okay.
one is you say ka, you leave it out. Ka, like ka.
Ka.
And
Ka.
yeah, but now this is the plot twist. All right. You take it in.
Ah!
Right? So what you do is you have your tongue like this, right? And you can
Okay.
take air from both the sides. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is sound number 3. Or if again everyone's mouth is different, right? So if you can't get this particular sound, you can also say the word push, and but again fill your mouth with air, make it sound like a gunshot, like that way. Yeah. So these are the 3 or 4 different sounds you can work with. And if so, this is like the English language. Learning beatboxing is like learning the English language from scratch. So we usually learn the alphabets first, and then we learn words, and then words become sentences. So in beatboxing, the individual sounds become your alphabets, and then words are the beats, and the bars become your sentences. All right. So the first beat, Jackie, is going to be BTKT. All right. B is for the bass drum, T is for the hi hats, is for the K, and T again is for the hi hats. So right, and then you can slowly start increasing the BPM once you feel confident. So as easy as that. Yeah. But it's something I'm giving you homework because I'm the professor, el professor of
All right.
beatboxing, right? So definitely take this as a homework and work on it. And if you do get this, please post a video and tag me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever you find it. I always love seeing people beatbox as well. So yeah, I hope you guys learned some part of beatboxing, and I hope, Jackie, you make a video on this and tag Covalent and tag me as well. Yeah,
Be
so that will
nice.
be a really cool thing. Beatboxer Jackie in the house.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could have actually seen if anybody was trying behind their screens.
I'm
Um,
sure everyone would have.
is there any videos where you actually teach like step by steps too? I mean, I'd love to watch.
I want to make a course on that, but no, the reason why I started B for Beatbox is the exact reason why I'm doing this right now. It's like these live workshops where I can be there to teach it with you. Because for me, there was no one. I learned it from YouTube, but it became very robotic. I learned 3 sounds and I realized that I'm not able to create anything, right? So whereas here I can teach you something, and then I can give you the opportunity to create your own beat. So for example, if I teach you, right, you can probably do like a whole different beat altogether with practice. I mean, with practice, right? So that is why I want to be there. But I'm also working, because again I realized I can't be there for everyone at one single point of time, which is why I probably need to start creating these courses. So that is in the works as well, but it's just taking some time. I have a lot of things happening right now, and I just want to do it right, and I want to do it slow and get it right.
No
But yeah.
worries. We should definitely do something on Discord where we can allow more people to. But we had Jun Zhao raise his hand, which I found out we can actually allow people to talk. So I'm actually gonna allow him to. So Jun, if you want to go ahead and
Someone
chat.
just said WTF on open as a question. Rise. Was that disbelief or okay? Which question was it, Jackie? Or
I
can
don't know,
we?
he just raised
Oh,
his hand. June, do you want to unmute your mic or? All right, never mind. Okay, so I see Pink's hand is up, so I'll just allow her to come up, and then I'll remove is
beatboxing is harder than COVID. Oh man, tell me about it. For me, just to get the bass drum sound, it took me a month. So, which is why I'm shocked that people are getting the sounds now so quickly. Like Jackie just got it in like 2 minutes. I don't know if you've been practicing it beforehand, but yeah, that's an amazing thing to see. That learning curve has become so short. But yes, go for it, Pink Panther. Such a cool name. I wish I was Pink Panther. Are you there, Pink Panther?
Hello. Yeah. Sorry, it was
Hi.
something with my headphones. Okay.
Okay.
Did you invite me to beatbox here?
Yeah, I would love to. So, for example,
No.
go for it. Go for it. Beatbox.
No. I'm not sure if I can.
Whatever you can. Don't be shy.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. 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 Let's start. No.
You got it. Yes. Yes, you got it. I have a thing to confess. When I started beatboxing, it sounded like fart noises. So you guys are doing way more than, I could ever do it in a month. So you guys are
Yeah,
killing
because
it.
you are the one who teaches us. So I
Oh,
think
very,
that's the reason.
very
Yeah.
kind, very kind. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything else would you like to hear from me?
Can you do the
Oh.
Pink Panther beat?
Oh,
Because
okay.
that should be a characteristic beat actually.
Oh my God.
Something like that. Maybe like a trumpet sound, like something like that. You can develop that into your own characteristic beat as well.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to have some problems with my microphone.
No worries.
Awesome.
Okay. Let me try. Can you do the second one? The trumpet one? I'll try that one.
So what you do is you want the trumpet sound or the beat.
The beat.
Okay, so it's BK 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 BBK, like
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm trying.
yeah.
Okay. It's the best that I can do right now. Sorry.
No,
Absolutely love it. I love the attempt itself. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming up, Pink.
It's my
so I
pleasure
know-
always. Yeah.
No worries. So I know we're over time, but I'll just I'll close it off just saying thank you so much for everybody who attended. It was a very, very informative session that went deep into like NFTs, the metaverse, and different components, even the technology, which is great. Great questions too. Again, if anybody who hasn't received a POAP, I know a few of you already reached out. If you're more than welcome to reach out to me on Discord, just provide me a screenshot that you attended the event. And we will be uploading this video on our main Covalent page under Alchemist Workshop for you guys to come back and rewatch anything that you wanted to. And we'll also be providing Abby's info within that in his presentation. But if you have any questions, you're more than happy and like welcome to reach out to him. He's on our Discord. There is his Telegram and on Twitter too. But yeah, any closing message that you wanted to let everybody know about, Abby?
Yes, please explore and try to get ahead of the curve as early as possible. That is one thing I would strongly suggest people, because again, you guys are attending this workshop. You put your time. I think you've put 100 minutes into this right now, 1 or 2 minutes to be exact. So use that time to create something and use this in the most productive way possible, because you guys being here right now is something which no one else is doing, right? This is a truly non-fungible event of sorts. So use that time to create something and stay ahead of the curve as early as possible, because there is going to be a huge technological in the next 3-4 years. I'm saying we can expect things which we've never imagined before. We can't comprehend it right now, and we at this point we could just explore the metaverse at this point and be ready for it when it happens, and it will happen. I don't know when, but it'll happen very early, but just be ready for that. Yeah, and I just want to leave it at that.
Love it. All right, everybody, have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you for coming, and thank you so much, Abby, for taking the time to share your knowledge. It's always great, and
Loved it.
we can definitely do more workshops. But yeah, you know where to find us. We're all over the place. All right, guys, thank you.
All right, see you guys. Have a great day. Bye.